Page, everybody. Ellen Page.
Pride was a sin, and the criminal physician.
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Exactly.
Ellen Page, who has been a woman for 33 years of life, is actually a man, she says.
The Canadian actor, formerly known as Ellen Page, during films like Juno, made headlines after transitioning and taking on the name Elliot Page. This thought-provoking journey has stirred up strong reactions among many celebrities, putting them on edge about the gender-affirming culture associated with the woke left.
The actress Ellen Page, who is, was, and shall remain a woman, is now a man. So let me read you the headline from CNN, which conveys zero information.
In today's video, we are going to be looking at moments where celebrities went haywire against Elliot Page and the entire woke culture of the trans community.
Remember when Pride was a sin, and the criminal physician.
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Exactly. So my question is,
Jordan Peterson was among the very first people who expressed complete outrage at Elliot Page's transition from being a woman to a man. According to the famous author, her behavior was completely unacceptable, and those affirming this were bordering on criminality, as her transition could set a precedence for other impressionable young girls who may find it cool to go trans just by looking at Elliot Page.
Not everything legal isn't criminal. And do they have that right? See, I would have left Ellen Page alone if she hadn't been parading her new abs in a fashion magazine. How many kids do you think she can convince to convert?
Jordan Peterson's argument is drawn from the fact that kids are the actual victims in this trans movement, as most of them are shipped into gender-affirming labs, where they end up getting mutilated before they are even old enough to get alcohol. But somehow, it's okay to take such irreversible actions on children just because of a claim they made about their gender identity.
The argument was that if we left people with gender dysphoria alone to make their own way and stop torturing them, that we would decrease the mental health load on those individuals.
According to Jordan Peterson, a lot of arguments have been peddled about trans ideologies, claiming that if they are allowed to exist in their delusion, they would be safe from mental health risks and depression. Still, Peterson argues that the fact that a person may hurt themselves unless they are affirmed doesn't eliminate the risk that is incurred from the practice of a potentially harmful lifestyle, especially one that is not in concordance with their original biology.
You can produce a psychogenic epidemic, especially among, generally it's adolescent females who are most susceptible to it. So I thought, oh, well, what's going to happen is we'll produce a psychogenic epidemic of gender dysphoria among adolescent females.
Jordan Peterson points out that affirming gender dysphoria will only lead to mass confusion caused by a psychogenic epidemic, especially among susceptible adolescent females, as this is a basic human behavior to follow the trending behavior. Since the woke culture is actively pushing for trans ideologies, Jordan Peterson feels the extreme need to voice out his distaste for this harmful movement.
Confetti was thrown, champagne was poured, tears of joy were wept when the actress Ellen Page revealed that she is a man named Elliot. Yes, apparently it seems Ellen Page, who has been a woman for 33 years of life, is actually a man.
Matt Walsh is another famous personality who blew hot on Elliot Page's transition from the Ellen Page everyone used to know. Walsh had no interest in sugarcoating his remarks, as he went all out against trans ideology while demolishing the idea behind Ellen Page's transition.
Elliot, does that mean she was never really a lesbian? Was she a straight white male this whole time? And if so, does that mean a straight white male was playing all those roles in all those films that should have gone to real women?
Matt Walsh pointed out the fact that Ellen used to be a lesbian, married to women for the first 33 years of her life. And now that she has transitioned into a man, does that mean she's been a straight white male all these years? In Walsh's opinion, the confusion just has no headway, and there can never be a logical explanation to the whole trans ideology.
And if she did just become a man, doesn't that mean she actually changed her sexual orientation, going from gay to straight? Isn't that impossible? Haven't we been told that's impossible? By the way, mere nanoseconds.
According to Matt Walsh, It is unreasonable to just affirm people without even attempting to understand what they mean. It's granted that we are in an age where words and biological terms are given second place, but for society to function, basic logic demands that we stop to ask these questions.
So Ellen Page says she's a man. All right. What do you mean, Ellen or Elliot? What do you mean that you're a man? In what sense are you a man? How do you define the word man? What is a man? I'm a man myself.
Another famous personality who has spoken on the Elliot Page controversy is Michael Knowles, who is notorious for going all out against the woke culture on his shows and in countless interviews with woke leftist activists. Michael Knowles' views indulging in the pronouns and name change is extremely harmful to society.
Who is now calling herself Elliot. But, I think I'm going to stop doing this. I think I'm going to stop indulging in the name changes. Because we, for a long time, have said we're not going to indulge in the pronouns.
Michael Knowles went all out to destroy pages of shirtless photos where the trans man displayed his abs and new looks after surgery. But despite the praises he received from the woke left, Michael Knowles was far from impressed with what he described as complete delusion.
Being pushed by the biggest corporations, the biggest tech platforms, and the government itself. Transgenderism. It's not, don't forget, you've got major companies.
Michael Knowles has also targeted Page's claim that the failure to affirm gender dysphoria among children will lead to the death of kids. In Michael's opinion, affirming the dangerous behavior of people will not help them. It will only put them at risk of the dangers of their delusion. Michael Knowles pointed out anorexia as an example of this effect.
Because we, for a long time, have said we're not going to indulge in the pronouns because I'm not going to call her him. You can't force me to lie. Some people are doing that, though. Some people are going along with it or got lots of demons inside of us, and we are legion or something. But we've said, okay, we on the conservative side, we said we're not going to go with the pronouns, but we will call them whatever name they want. If they, anyone can change their name, that's perfectly fine. No, I don't think so.
Finally, we have Ben Shapiro, who went all out against the entire trans ideology behind Elliot Page's transition and wasn't about to buy into the whole argument that gender dysphoria is something to be affirmed in any way.
I would be remiss today if I did not discuss one of the great issues of our time. And that is that the actress Ellen Page, who is, was, and shall remain a woman, is now a man. Standard, whereby if a person declares themselves a member of the opposite gender, the entire world, especially in the media, must immediately flip on a dime, stop calling them by the name everybody knew them as, and stop calling them by their biological sex.
And Shapiro believes that it is completely outrageous for the media to demand that the entire public conform to the delusion or truth of trans-identifying people like Elliot Page, who, after years of being a certain gender, suddenly wakes up to identify as something else, and everyone is supposed to just swallow up this new behavior without question. In Ben Shapiro's view, this is completely and utterly wild and should not be encouraged in any way.
It makes no difference to me. She is an adult human. She can do whatever she wants. It is a free country. However, it being a free country, I am also free to point out that Ellen Page is, was, and shall remain a woman.
According to Ben Shapiro, the fact that Ellen Page has the right to transition into a man and identify as whatever she wants doesn't trump his right or the right of anyone to address her as what he believes she is biological. A society built on adherence to delusions instead of basic facts is heading for disaster, according to Ben Shapiro. And if free speech truly exists, no one should be forced to affirm anyone's gender.
No other area of life in which people simply declare themselves to be a thing and everybody goes, oh, okay. Right? An objectively verifiable thing. Right there, you can declare your sexual orientation, or you can declare a thing that you like.
Ben Shapiro also pointed out the fact that in this modern era, there is no other area where people are allowed to declare themselves as certain identities without question, because everyone understands that such behavior is problematic for society. But it's only funny that when it comes to gender identity, everyone is suddenly made to believe that they are to affirm and accept the gender dysphoria of trans people without question.
Right? She is a woman. And yet we are immediately told by the media that to even address Ellen Page or Elliot Page as a she is discriminatory.
This is a debate that isn't going away anytime soon. With the increase in outrage against woke culture, there is bound to be more and more celebrities lending their voices against gender dysphoria and other woke ideologies. What do you think? Are critiques of gender identity and woke culture essential conversations for society, or do they risk undermining individual rights? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more discussions on today's most pressing topics.